Ayo, what's outside is within. The mind regulates the hand that masters the pen. The pen is mightier than the sword, but the tongue is mightier still. The stargate to the mind's revealed. The vortex. Once again, peace, blessing, love and all of that to all of those involved and watching. It's another episode of Real Talk with Kevin, and we have Kevin in the building. So yeah, this discussion, this conversation is about, would it be best to say the past, the present and the future?
Yeah.
Should we put it that?
Yeah.
Alright, yeah, so we just want to run a little like kind of magnifying glass on just what's going on, and just have our point of view on it. So yeah, let's just kickstart the conversation with the first question, Kev. When you think about humanity and its future, what is the first emotion you feel? Is it hope, fear, uncertainty, and why?
I don't know, I think for me it's uncertainty, but I think it's generational. I think if you're late 40s, over 50,
Yeah.
there's a different way of thinking about how humans are developing and what's going on a technological basis. I think for people being born in 2025 or being born like 5 years ago, they've just been born into something that will be normalised from the existence of AI, etc., maybe robotics, etc.
Yeah.
For those 20-year-olds, 25, maybe coming up to 30, they're living in a time where they're enjoying AI, social media developments, and quite excited about it. And those late 40s, 50s, you know, shall I say it in layman's terms, some people are scared shitless, I think, about the prospect of losing jobs. And maybe living in a world of fantasy, especially if you've come through watching certain sci-fi films.
Yeah.
And it seems like some of those sci-fi films in some capacity have become reality. And what's in store for the future. Yeah. In a future reality. You know, they've got Amazon, Microsoft, Google, and other organisations that have already talked about their job losses and job cuts as a consequence of AI. So I think for me, as a over 50s, there's uncertainty. I'm also, because of who I am, sort of excited about the prospect of what the next developments are for humanity and technology and us moving forward as a race. But yeah, it's quite shaky times in some respects.
Yeah, because I would say the word what sticks to me is uncertainty as well. When it comes to the stuff that we see on the screen, that's played out, they call that predictive programming. You know, that's something where they put out there, and then later on you see it develop. The uncertainty for me is because, you know, there's powers that be that are working behind the brim, and you know they do what they do, and we just have to get on with it.
Yeah.
Now the uncertainty is the disorganization of just us as a people. We kind of move like sheep with the shepherd. We're just following, and you know sometimes you just have to, you know, kind of take control and, you know, rule your own destiny, if you want to call it. So I don't see most people doing that. So yeah. Do you believe technology is enhancing our humanity or replacing it?
I think it's a double-edged sword. I think it's enhancing it in one respect. I mean, it's funny that I was talking to someone yesterday and we was talking about Christmas and Christmas presents, and I said, look, I remember when I got my Commodore 64 computer, man, and he goes, yeah, that must have been good. I said, it was. But when you loaded a game, it might take 45 minutes.
It took a while,
yeah.
didn't it? Yeah.
And then next minute, the game crashes and then you've got to rewind the tape
all
and
over
start again.
Yeah,
so that was long. So with the advancements of technology, everything's quick. Everything moves quicker.
Yeah.
There are going to be real developments in medicine and healthcare and science in regards to technology. and all different areas. I mean, it's funny because when you think about films, and I made reference to films, Surrogates was a really interesting film, you know, where your surrogate went out and done the work and you just stayed at home just chilling. That sedentary lifestyle probably not good for humankind, but the humans in that film functioned on a certain level where they were used to their sort of double going out and doing whatever and you staying at home. So there's efficiency in it, you know, there's mad developments, whether it might be in agriculture and how they grow things and you know, just general organisation. But at the same time, what happens when, you know, children in schools are the students, yeah, so the power dynamic's known. The teacher is the person that leads. What happens in the end when AI becomes a teacher? What happens to humanity then? You know, AI is in a constant state of flux in regards to learning. So it learning more and more about humanity. If you had the ability to learn more and more and more about humanity and make the human experience more efficient, if you looked historically at humans, what would you decide to do in the end? Based on how they've behaved over time. I don't know, what would you do? Wipe them out?
Sorry, you know what it is? In my mind, I'm just thinking of like, you know, like, everything starts off crude. Like, you know what I mean by that? Look, like we were just talking about Commodore 64, then you had the Atari, then you went up and then you had the Nintendo and the Sega Genesis, and then you went to the, not Sega Genesis, you had the Sega Master System, Genesis, Super Nintendo, and it got to the point where we're at PlayStation 5. It's starting to get more sophisticated. So that's the thing with technology. In real time, that's what happens. It starts crude and it will get to the point where you can't differentiate if it's real or not. You'll be lost in the bubble. But at the same time, you like, in a way that I just blame mankind, because this is what they want. You know, I wouldn't say like there's pockets of people that are like, well, I don't want that, but I'm saying that the majority of mankind is quite lazy. You know, a lot of people are, you know, they don't want to do the hard work. They don't want to get their hands dirty. So this is where sophistication of technology comes into place. Do you know what I mean? And then that's why, like you said about people losing jobs, you got people in Hollywood now going on strikes and stuff because, you know, they're refusing to do certain things because AI is taking over.
And I think, you know, there's a, like I said, there's a double-edged sword that before, when you used to go on your phone and maybe look at Insta or whatever you're looking at and you see AI generated content, and whether it had Obama in there, Putin in there, Trump in there doing madness and mayhem and it looking like a film, it was quite exciting. Now they're putting out so much content that people aren't knowing what's real or not. And people are getting annoyed by it, like, what, is this real, is this not real, blah blah blah. Some things look like quite interesting information, and then you find out it's AI and it's a load of nonsense. Like, I've got into, there's so much fake stuff that I even got into a situation where I phoned up someone and I said, oh yeah, did you hear blah blah's dead? Because they'd put out something about a car crash. I think it was MC Light or something like that, And I'd got fooled straight away, phoned up, oh, did you hear MC Light had passed away? I was like, oh, I can't believe it. They said, no, then they checked back with me, they said, that ain't true, Kev. That will never happen to me again. But that's the position humans have been put in now.
Of course,
not being able to differentiate in between reality and what's virtual reality. You know, it's quite a strange place to be in.
I would say I wouldn't even worry about if it happens. Like, in the sense, like, look at it like if it was like any form of, you know, being one up to anything like that when it comes to that, because you got the sophistication of it is now where they can clone your voice. So you could hear someone could call you cloning my voice and say, Kev, I'm stranded, I need £500, I can't get back, and then you're going to be like, what? Let me send it to you next to you. That, you know what I mean? People do that shit, so yeah, man, this is the way that it's going. And that's what I'm saying. When you create something and it goes out into the general public and they take control of it, this is the thing that I kind of see, like, you know, it's all about the hands of who it falls into.
Yeah.
So if AI continues evolving at this pace, what aspects of human life do you see? I mean, do you think that will become obsolete?
Well, certain jobs will become obsolete straight away.
Yeah.
Like, they're already doing that. You know, it's funny because the more prevalent and present technology has been in human life, the dumber it seems humanity is becoming in some respect. So whether it's from the basic spell check on your computer, you know, it's mainly signs and symbols now. There's a lot less emphasis on spelling words right or using your brain power to be able to figure out things, because computers are doing it for you.
That's
You
right.
know, so there's certain sections of society that become dumbed down because they just don't need to put in the work academically, really. You know, so I think there's going to be lots of different areas where you're not going to need to use your brain for anything. Things are just going to be done for you.
Yeah, that's right.
You know, but what happens to, you know, because then there's the divide again, the sort of social stratification divide. So the people at the top have got a lot more knowledge about how to use things productively for their benefit and maybe to generate money.
Yeah.
At the bottom level is just used mainly for entertainment. So what's going to happen at the top end? What are they going to be controlling? How are they going to orchestrate things in society? Because they've really got the power and the knowledge of how to use it more efficiently and effectively for their own means.
So do you feel, I think you've answered this in a bit, but do you feel we are heading towards a future where humans won't need to work, or a future where only a few select people will have opportunities?
Well, look at Hollywood. What's going to happen to Hollywood? Yeah, or the film industry generally? You know,
That's right, yeah.
Are they going to have no actors about sooner or later? Are they going to be scrambling for jobs because they can generate AI content and make movies at probably less than half the price? Because what are you going to be doing? Getting creators to make...
It's real talk, man. I swear me and you had this conversation when I was telling you about, I was on YouTube and I was watching, they had a lot of these like shorts. And someone made a trailer on, like, it was two different Tupac supposed movies that were coming. And one was a cartoon which was delving into the mysterious acts of his death, in the sense of what happened, and these kids was helping his ghost solve the mystery. Now, when I was watching it, I was saying to myself, like, not like I told you so, but I remember a long time ago I was saying there's going to be a moment in life where those that we love that have passed, the powers that be will go to those the estates or the homes of wherever these entities are, like Tupac's estate, and say, listen, we've written a script, we want Tupac's image in the movie, and they will sell the rights to these people so they could use. That's what I think will happen when you're seeing, like, what's it, the Game of Death stuff, and I'm seeing Bruce Lee, this new AI stuff. I'm saying, look, I knew that was coming, and soon they're gonna have to lighten this down, packed so tightly. Like, look what they do in Marvel when they show, like, some of the older actors when they're young, you know, that
Yeah.
it's already there. Do you know what I'm saying? So
I know, it's quite strange. I mean, and there's part of it that is endearing. I don't know if that's the right word, because when you bring back old characters, for some people they get a really lovely feel about. I mean, I watched Tron. What's the new Tron called?
is it Aries or something?
Yeah. I watched Tron.
Is it good?
Aries. Funnily enough, it was alright.
I think
Only
I
because I'm a hardcore Tron fan from the first one.
Yeah.
So the one before wasn't that good.
Right.
But this one I enjoyed. What's the actor's name that was in the first one again?
I know his name. I mean, I know his face, but he was in Iron Man 1 as well.
Yeah.
I can't remember his name, but yeah, I know you.
So they had him, but I think they had him old. I don't think that was AI. I was unsure. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's where it had me. But you know, I think that what was he talking about again?
We're basically touching on bringing people that maybe are past or older based characters back through AI and going through their estates and
yeah.
stuff.
So I saw him, and it you know, this nostalgic feeling came on board, and I know that some people, when they see characters, even though it might be an AI generated version of them, when they see certain characters brought back through TV or film through AI, and they make this link with historically with something they watched in the past, you know, it gives some people a alright feeling, but that's quite fleeting, tell you the truth, because watching content's one thing, and entertainment, but AI affecting your actual real life is something else.
Yeah. So, moving away from it slightly, is war inevitable in the future, or can technological advancement actually reduce global conflict? What do you reckon?
That is a sticky one, isn't it?
That is, but
you know, because the advancements also come with weaponry.
Yeah, that's right.
A different level of AI weaponry and nanotechnology and all the stuff that comes with it. I mean, I went to a rave the other week. Shout out to Marlo and the Legacy Gala. And we were standing outside queuing up, me and the missus. And I said, I go to her, what's that? It looks like a flying saucer. What's that in the sky? And she goes, it's my man on the drone filming it. But it was mad how this light went up into the sky, and the guy over there was at the front of the gate controlling the drone, doing whatever. But 10, 15, 20 years ago, that level of filming and technology wasn't about.
That's
you know
right.
what I mean?
That's
so
right.
Technologically, when it comes to human advancement and war, it's a double-edged sword again. So what you're going to have is maybe the capacity to control things in a better way, but also the ability to use new weaponry to fight certain wars and spy and infiltrate on a certain level. I think it's for those that are involved in military strategy, that they'll have a better understanding about what's going for a layman like us that not involved in any sort of military advancement tactics and technology. We're just sort of talking off the top of our heads.
Yeah,
you
of
know
course.
what I mean, really, because ultimately what's going on up there, we don't really know.
Not at all. You know, I don't think so as well, man. We don't know anything. But like with drones and AI, and all these new weaponries, cyber attacks and all of this sort of stuff. What do you think the future madness of that sort of magnitude looks like?
Well, the cyber attacks, you know, it's weird that we're actually held hostage in some capacity with technology. Whether you're having problems taking money out of the bank, whether your things get shut down and you haven't got access to your money, whether they do some cyber attack on social media or O2 or your phone provider, and next minute that's shut down. There's all different areas where your life, because we're so reliant on technology now, your life can shut down straight away. If you're a person that works from home or needs to send emails and your Wi-Fi is gone, if people infiltrate that area, what are you going to do at home? Your TV and all that don't work. So there's too much opportunity nowadays. When you just had pen and paper, etc., no one could shut you down.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, but now at any given moment, something can happen, something can get cut, and your life sort of stops until those things are back up and running. So people have been put in a really precarious situation nowadays with technology, let alone it's like this. I always have my hard drive with my memory stick with work on it. If that goes or gets corrupted or something happens and I haven't backed it up, I'm in problems.
Yeah.
You know, where before you just go to your book and your pad and it's still there, it's just on the shelf.
So would you say that we're over reliant on technology?
I think we're over reliant, but at the same time, it's part of human development. What can we do? You know, I was speaking to someone a while back, and I was saying to him, you know, imagine the first time when we moved from agrarian life, in regards to farming and the feudal system and lord of the manor and the serfs and all that stuff that was going on then. Imagine the first time someone saw a car and they started building roads. It would have been madness. The first time someone saw a plane.
Yeah.
The first time someone actually got on a plane for their first flight. I can't imagine what the price was then for your first plane flight, but it must have been expensive at the time.
Yeah.
These developments, just being there at the time when they were happening, especially at a certain age, must have been madness. You must have been like, what is this? Someone just floating along the road. All you can see is their head, yeah, through the window, and they're just driving along when you're used to a horse and cart. You know, I remember the days when people were holding mobile phones in this big case. That was the mobile phone, and it come out like a house phone with a cord, yeah. Until it, you know, people had mobile phones. There's mobile phones that small.
Yeah, developed. Yeah.
So you know, it's a real strange transition to some extent. And like I said before, some people are born into it, and it's okay. But moving forward and thinking about life, I think a certain generation, you're quite confused. You're sort of, while younger people are living it, existing it, and loving it, and can do things quick. It's like this: I might go to pay a bill, I might go to set up my printer at home. It's taken me 2 hours. Some young person will do that in 5 minutes.
Yeah.
You know, and there's frustration behind the technology as well.
Yeah, that's right. Do you think governments will still exist in their current form in 50 to 100 years, or will corporations become the new rulers through privatization?
Look, it's madness, because you know there's always been movement between the government. First it was the church running stuff, then the government. Now we got computer technology. There's this sort of triadic bit going on: technology, government, and religion. We don't know how these things are going to interact together and have an impact on society as a whole.
Right.
I think technology, as it becomes more advanced and more knowledgeable and more clever, I think we'll be in somewhat of a strange predicament if it starts thinking outside of the box.
This is it. I don't know how to answer that question actually myself when I think about it. I would say that I think it's whoever controls the energy of the day. What I mean by the energy, like right now it's currency, innit? So I believe those who control currency are the ones who control power. So whatever will be the dish of the day in whatever time frame it is, those are the ones that will be in power.
Yeah, and I think, you know, it's funny, if you look at Netanyahu, if you look at Putin, if you look at Trump, there's a feeling of power and dominance, this megalomania going on. So if we've got leaders across the globe that's their main focus, power and dominance, and they've got AI in their hands, what's going to happen to the people below? You know, because there's a lot of you know, society's destabilized at the moment. You know, whether it's xenophobia, whether it's racism, whether it's discrimination, whatever, across the board. This is not just a black and white thing. You know, whether it's anti-Semitism, whether it's you know, a lack of care and kindness and empathy in certain countries, and war not even being talked about in certain countries.
Yeah.
There's a lot going on globally with poverty and everything. So with AI, if we've got AI and it's a tool that can advance us as a race, why aren't we using AI to figure out how to sort out some of these problems?
Because I think the powers that be never really have been on. That's not their path, because I reckon half of that stuff or majority of that stuff would have already been done if they really cared.
Yeah.
So I think, like, you know, with the small pockets of people that do care, they most probably try and use it for that. But, you know, do they have money to back their cause, to change things? You know, because I you know, a lot of people are money orientated and people move for the money, you know, and those that have money are just putting it in other places that benefits them. So
yeah, I mean, I said it before, as much as we're technologically advanced, we've become sort of socially savage at the moment. It's weird how we're moving in a direction where people are thinking in intellectual ways, and on another level people are more barbaric than ever. You know, and I say more barbaric than ever in modern day societies, because we haven't gone back to the days of antiquity when there was medieval type practices, you know, rape, pillage and plunder everywhere, but you can see it happening in certain countries.
Oh, definitely. Are essential services like healthcare, water and energy becoming too privatised? What risks does that bring for ordinary people?
High prices. Hey, listen. Hey, I got scammed. Yeah. So they gave me, I live in council accommodation, didn't it? So they gave me some money. They gave me £150.
Right.
Yeah, electric.
Right.
Yeah, oh, go on, good top up there, yeah. When I went down the post office, people out there, you should know about this, went down the post office, charged up my key, yeah, £150. Come on, yeah. I put that in about a week and a half ago, it's nearly done. It was like a setup. It was like, as soon as it went in, it registered somewhere. They've put in the £150. We're going to rinse down that.
Yeah.
I've never seen £150 and the electric go down so quick. It actually hurt me.
Yeah.
So, you know, when it comes to it benefiting those people at the lower ends of the spectrum, it's not going to. Prices are going to go up. We're paying for water, we're paying for gas, we're paying for electric, we're paying for natural resources.
And I was about to say to you that, like, everything other than healthcare, because, you know, energy and water is free. Healthcare is just a basic necessity for all humans. So it's very interesting that stuff that it just shows the draconian mindset, you know what I'm saying? Because those things that you should be getting, that should be free, are not.
Yeah.
And you're paying top dollar for them.
Look, and it doesn't matter. You're paying top dollar for that. Soon we're going to be paying top dollar for healthcare. It's going to be like America. NHS is ready to bust.
Yep.
Yeah, at the seams. So what will they have to do? No choice. They'll have to privatise it.
Yep.
Yeah. Next minute, what's going to happen to the people that haven't got money?
Suffering, mate.
So they're going to privatise that. What's going on with the police service at the moment and the police force? They're all over the place. So what are they going to do? Have contractors out and contract out police work?
Yeah, and that's when it gets mad.
And then it'll be like V for Vendetta. And they'll have some dodgy coppers, even though you got dodgy coppers out there now.
Yeah.
Doing strange things. They're going to have just normal people that are contracted out to do the work. They might do a quick 2-week training course. Next minute they're out on the streets doing strange things.
God knows what.
Yeah, the opposite of police out there. So we got to watch out in regards to how many different areas will become privatised and the impact it will have more so on those at the lower ends of the social strata. Yeah, there's people that are going to be living in their areas protected. Don't be surprised if in the future you're going to have larger gated off communities for the wealthy.
Yeah. For me, it's all about the wealthy, innit? Like, I believe that the police, all they do is police the money. They don't police communities. Wherever the money is in a greater form, that's where they'll be protecting it.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, that's why there's no public outcry when certain things go down in certain areas, and then you might have one murder in a more affluent area or something go on, and it's just all over the news.
Yeah, definitely.
You know, you could drive around Tottenham right now and there could be a broken down car or a burnt out car, and that car be there for a month, 2 months. That car in Maida Vale or some other area that'll be there for 30 minutes and then
Yeah,
you'll
it's
see it
gone.
moved.
Yeah, trust me.
The other day I went to Enfield Town, because where I practice my therapies in Enfield Town. So I went to Enfield Town Tesco. When I parked up in the Tesco, I remember this is only Enfield Town. This is 25 minutes away, 20 minutes from Tottenham on a good day. And I went there and I got out my wallet and I took my £1 out to put in the shopping trolley to get out of the shop. You don't need £1 there.
Yeah.
You just pull the trolley.
Yeah.
You know, most of a lot of parts of Enfield Town, you can park quite freely around certain back roads. You can't do that down here. Your car will get lifted and you get charged £260. Let alone you're living in a area that's considered to be poor, and you're having to pay X amount of money for a parking violation. More money than you would pay for a criminal act and a fine in the court.
So do you, with that being said, do you think things like, paying fines and these parking permits and all of this stuff in these impoverished areas, and then when you go to more affluent areas they don't have that, do you reckon that is like a sneaky way to kind of keep you under the thumb? Like,
they keep you under the thumb, but when you're affluent, to some extent, you get perks. That's one of the perks. If you've done enough, or life has gone in the right direction, in a better direction for you financially, for whatever reasons. You may have worked hard, you may have inherited, whatever's happened for you to get a certain level. You get perks with that. One of the perks of living in affluent areas is that you don't get so much nonsense going on. You don't have to pay for parking. Maybe your neighbours might be alright. There's all kinds of different perks you're getting in more affluent areas. The policing's better, the healthcare's better, the education's better.
yeah.
So what can you do? And what can you say? Everyone can grumble about the position they're in. But what have you done or what haven't you done? So sometimes people have to look at themselves. I never grumble about the predicament I'm in regards to me placing myself in that position by my efforts or lack of efforts. I won't ever blame anyone else for the predicament I might consider myself to be in, But that's why sometimes when you talk about the wealthy, when we talk about the wealthier people in general, I'm usually talking about those ones right at the top that control, have like control over the system in a particular manner where it has a detrimental impact on those beneath them. There's wealthy people out there that are good people. They've made their money and they're living a good life, like a lot of people would like to. They may have empathy and kindness and be philanthropists behind the scenes and do good things. You can't put everyone in the same box when it comes to wealth and attitudes and what they're doing to society.
How do you see our moral compass evolving as a society as it becomes more digitalized and disconnected?
We're already going crazy.
Yeah.
So social media's turning people mad. Yeah.
Yeah. Egotistical maniacs.
Yeah. So I can't see it getting any better. I can only imagine that with technological advancements and people's attitudes, moral compass, and their fantasies, and their wants, not their needs, there'll be some strange things going on. I've already started seeing, and people and this is just one thing, people like to adorn themselves with gold and jewellery. People like to adorn themselves with tattoos.
Yeah.
People like to put piercings in them.
Yeah.
Now I've seen some people put in a big stone like it's something from Thanos embedded in their head.
Yeah.
Like, why? What is that? Yeah. Now for me, because of my age, that looks a bit crazy. For some young people, that might look all right, having a big gemstone embedded in your forehead that's removable, but then you got a big sort of holy sort of thing in your forehead. But I have seen programs that have talked about technological advancements and plastic surgery and the prospect of people getting another appendage, maybe having 3-4 arms. Who knows where we're going to go? Yeah, with how we deal with our own bodies and what we might want to do with them because of technology, and how we'll think about other people and how disconnected we might become to people and how connected we may become to technology. You know, there's going to be people out there, they're already on cyber porn. They're already on VR porn. Are they going to be on AR porn? You know, what's going to be going on? Are they going to be having the robots in their house as partners that they're going to be having sexual intercourse with? It's going to go wild. There's going to be there's going to be people that are going to be able to accept it, the things that are going on in society, and there's going to be people that ain't going to be able to accept it.
Yeah, yeah. It's all sophisticated now. Who was it? As you're saying that, one comedian coming to my mind, I think it was Bill Burr. Yeah. And he's saying about, like, you know, about one guy going to one of those CD shops he's driving, and you go, you know, like, but basically what he's trying to say is, you know, back in the day, they would go to get, you know, those balloon blow up dolls, and it's crude and all that, and then, you know, the person knows that you're going to buy it, you're walking with this big parcel that people might be able to see a logo or something. Now it's all sophisticated. Click, click, click. Amazon or wherever it's come from, you paid your thing, it gets shipped over in a box, no one knows it's in your yard, and the doll, looks practically human now. Like it's really putting a wedge between people. Yeah. Like there's no more, like even the way that people, like you see back in the day, if you wanted to talk to if you wanted to meet a woman, you'll have to go out there and you'll have to talk to her and engage and check her body language and come up with something witty. And now, you know, people just says click, 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 link up, bish, bash, bosh, and it's done. Like, yeah, man, the playing field's it's mad different now, you know. And yeah, these things are really alarming. I was going to ask you again, as technology grows, do you think human empathy will decrease or increase?
That you know, what's good about humans, I mean, it's going to be really, I don't know how long it's going to take to be able to replicate human emotion through technology. That's one thing we've got. We've got empathy, jealousy, envy. We've got all the emotions going on. And I think humankind will always have that. It will just be shrouded over with other things, you know. But how long will we live for? What's going to happen by the year 3000? You know, how will humans exist then? Will they be more in tune with technology and the way technology sort of functions? You know, will we become like, what was that in Star Trek? That was it, Data? What was the name of that character? There was a character that was, I don't know if he's a robot, I didn't watch it, but very robotic-like type of being. Who knows how we're going to be? I mean, we're already sort of, it already feels like we've already become a world where we're doing a lot more sitting down. We're on screens a lot more. So technology's already started changing us. Young people, you know, their social interaction is done mainly on devices a lot of the time. Unless they're in school, where they're mingling with other students, a lot of the time they're on their PlayStation talking, they're on their phone talking, they're on social media talking. So already the legs are doing a lot less work, the mouths are doing a lot more talking, the eyes are doing a lot more watching, and the ears are doing a lot more listening. We're going to have a generation of young people that are going to have hearing aids or new technological devices for hearing, different types of glasses, maybe thumbs will be adapted on a different level, may look different in 100 years' time from playing games. We just don't know where we're going to go as humans. But what we know, that things are going to change. They're definitely going to change. And for the moment, for those that are at the top, it's always beneficial for them, and those people nearer the bottom, it's never usually beneficial. You know, even nowadays, how can you go? you got 3 children. All right, you've been forced into a predicament where, because of ULEZ, you might not be able to afford to run a car now. So you end up having to take the bus. Now, when you go to the shops to do your shopping, you got to go to the self-service checkout and do it yourself.
Yeah.
You know, so even then, you're doing more work than ever in some respects because of technology.
Yeah.
I'm quite ignorant when it comes to certain things. So for me, going into a shop and purchasing from you and then having to check out my own stuff as well, you should be paying me some money for checking out my own stuff.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Again, saying that, as soon as you say that as well, that's where they got those Amazon shops. So they got them other shops where you literally just walk in and whatever you put in your basket,
you get charged.
Well, you can just leave out and just instantly charge you.
Yeah.
It's it's just really interesting where everything is moving towards. I'm going to switch it a bit now. Do you believe extraterrestrial life exists? And if so, do you think our government already knows more than they tell us?
You know, it's funny because everyone's got their own ideas about what may be considered alien life. And I've always thought to myself, what would be the point in having all these planets and having such a vast, well, our galaxy, the Milky Way galaxy, having such a vast galaxy, and there be only us? That would be pretty weird. You know, so I do believe that there are other life forms about, just like how we've existed on this planet and adapted to it. There must be other life forms that have adapted to their environments and exist somewhere else and do whatever. Do the government know about stuff? They always know about something that we don't know about.
Definitely.
So I'm sure they've got their fingers in the alien pie, so to speak, understanding what's going on a different level. But really, it's a realm of unknown to us. You know,
Sure.
There's little sound bites and bits and video bits that we see, and UFO sightings, etc., and strange phenomenon that goes on, that sort of whets our appetite for the mysterious. You know, and for me, this is personal, because I love sci-fi on a certain level. Tottenham Stadium's just over there. If I came out onto Tottenham High Road and I saw a big UFO over White Hart Lane Stadium, I'd be like, go on, as long as it's not coming down and start doing any probing or do anything strange to you and eat you up like War of the Worlds, I'm calm with it. But you know, we know that there's secrets. There's definite secrets.
Definitely.
And if anyone's naive enough to think there's so much space in space with planets and other things going on, that we're the only ones that exist. And you know, really, when you think about us as beings, we ain't that intelligent. We're not that intelligent. Well, you know, how as human beings created something that seemingly moving in a direction that's going to become more intelligent than us? You know, so we ain't that intelligent. So in the scheme of universal living, I believe there's other things going on. Yeah, and it's not hard to believe that. I say that in the sense that people believe in God, but it's just a belief. You know,
right.
I don't know if anyone's got any true facts to prove that God exists. Maybe they have, but for now, it's just, for me, it's a belief.
Yeah,
Aliens is a belief.
Belief systems,
Yeah, so, you know, I believe there's something around. And I believe that the government know. But it's just, at what point in time, I'd love intergalactic meeting with, you know, other beings from other planets. That would be amazing, you know. But again, the reason I like it, even though I'm jumping off this topic a bit, I like it as well, is because I think humanity, it would create a real good, cohesive human experience amongst everyone of every culture and nation once aliens started coming into the mix. You know what I mean?
What do I think? Well, when you break down the word extraterrestrial, whatever you want to call it, you've got extraterrestrial. Terrestrial means like the planet, isn't that right? So it's something extra that's outside of the planet. So obviously, in my train of thought, I would say that, with that being said, anything coming from outside coming in is an extraterrestrial. So I reckon they're already here. They already do exist. Now, is it, you know, the big head with the black eyes, or the greys? I don't know. One thing I try to do is not talk about what I don't know, because I just, you know, I just don't know, and I don't want to come across like a fool. Me personally, I've never seen anything that they would deem as an alien. You know how Hollywood shows you what aliens are. But what I do know is that when you've got the governments and all of these places that have areas that you can't go in, like Area 51 and all of these things there, you know, I don't know exactly what they're doing in there, but how can it be so privatized that you can't come here, and if you got the risk of being shot dead?
Yeah.
So I'm saying there's obviously things that's going on within our spectrum that is made to be to keep you away from.
Like Antarctica.
Straight up, yeah, you can't fly over those places there. You know, there's a world. Is it a world treaty where the whole world's saying, not just one set of people, the whole world's saying that they're in agreement, you can't go that sort of place. And if you fly over, there's the same thing. You got a risk of being shot down. That's telling in itself. So yeah, going back to extraterrestrials, and thinking, do they actually exist? Who knows? One thing I will say is, though, when you go back into the old scriptures and the old paintings and stuff, you do see like ancient ancestors in spacecrafts.
Yeah.
Or you see visitations like in these pictures.
Or them looking up at some sort of strange object. Right.
So those things there are that have to be answered when you're dealing with the Dogon. And the Dogon will tell you that they're from the Sirius star constellation. And you know, Kemet dealing with making heaven on earth, meaning like the points of where the pyramids are, which are the same in alignment as the belt of Orion. Now those things now will make you have to answer some real questions, like what is the connection? But again, because I'm living right now and I don't have the technology, I don't personally know, I can't really sprinkle my 2 pence on it, but I will say to you that there is what's the term? It's very fishy to me. It's very it's something that I would like to find more knowledge about, but I don't know where I'd start with that. But yeah, that's something I would like to look into.
And when you was talking about the sort of ancient connection, I mean, even like the teachings of Mutt, you know, dealing with justice, order, balance and truth, compared to modern day religion, it was a religion that was connected to the cosmos.
Exactly.
It wasn't just religion, human beings, God. You know, it was our connection to the universe as well.
Right.
So there was a deeper connection and a deeper insight that was apparent through drawings and what was written in scriptures and what you know, what you saw in their art.
Well, maybe that's the reason why they have the AI and all that there, because they have to keep you dumbfounded. They have to keep you nullified, because remember, the AI takes away your desire to enhance yourself. There's no need to, because you've got something there already doing it for you. The smartphones, the smart, whatever you want to put smart in front of it, it's there to create you being more dumb, if you want to call it that. The irony is, remember back in the day when there was no mobile phones and all that, bruv, you know how many phones, I knew all my friends' numbers, I knew my house, everybody knew everybody's numbers off the top of their head. Now no one knows, not even some people.
Their own number.
Right, so then, I think it's just, things are put in places in strategic ways, I think.
Yeah.
So how would humanity psychologically handle undeniable proof of alien life, if there was any?
Right. That will turn people mad.
Oh, definitely.
I think that even the people that flew the flag for alien life would go mad. You know, it's one thing acknowledging there's something without proof, but then seeing it firsthand is something completely different. I've always been into monsters and vampires and werewolves from when I was a kid. I love the vampire sort of mythology. There's something about it I really love. I don't want to be a neck biting killer, yeah. But you know, I had fantasies of me being a vampire when I was young, etc., etc. And it was great, but I lost my train of thought now.
Yeah, well, we're talking about the how would humanity psychologically handle it.
But me seeing a vampire, me seeing a vampire in the night, yeah, and me loving its mythology and that. Nah, I don't think I love that. So you know, for a lot of people, knowing that there's other beings, we've been fed a narrative over time through film of scary aliens that come to eat up the world, yeah, that come to take over humanity. Yeah, so we've already been primed with that in our heads. We're already thinking that whatever comes is not going to be for us. So you already got this feeling about when you say the word alien. When you say that to people, what is the image it conjures up straight away?
It's Hollywood, isn't it? It's Hollywood aliens. Yeah.
It's not, you know, another life form that looks like us, or that comes and that's, yeah, we've waited so long to come to planet Earth or whatever they might call this planet, and we'd like to live as one. No, that narrative never been spun. I've never seen it really.
Let me play devil's advocate here with a little something. Like, I think we've been desensitized a lot to a lot of things. Like I'm into Predator and all that. Like we both are, and like I said, I watched the Badlands and a class movie, yeah. But with all of these images that we're seeing, and I don't know if you saw this. There was a clip going around where I think they were saying in Egypt, it looked like a festival, but what they had is they had this massive like AI things in the sky. So it looked like there was some being kind of doing some sort of mad movement or like interacting with them. And like when I saw that, I was thinking, you lot are like nearly ready for them to throw the AI images of like the coming of the aliens to meet the ships, or the coming of Christ, or the coming of whatever religion, or Haru comes back, or Zeus is in the sky ready to dash a thunderbolt. And people like they're so, I hate to use the term, but they're so lubed up, ready for it, they're ready to get the shaft in. So that's it. No, but that's exactly what it is. Because imagine like the question: how would humanity psychologically handle that? I think they've just been molded and shaped and been ready for seeing stuff like that.
Yeah, there's part of them that I think have been molded, but I think, you know, it's like anything, a virtual experience and a real one are two different things. It's like people will talk about things in normal terms, especially men. Yeah, if I got into this situation, I'd be like this, and and then when the situation comes, completely different. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I think for a lot of people, that's why I said about the people that love aliens. They're like, bring on the aliens. The next minute they come in and be like, oh my God, I didn't really expect all this. So I think it'll shatter people's belief systems, or a system based on what they preconceived was going on in the universe. All right, there's no such things as aliens. They're just in the films. Oh my Lord, they are real. What does this mean for us? You know what I mean? How advanced are they? Are we going to be slaves to them? Whatever it is, whatever the thinking is, you know, Area 51, that was all real. You know, there's all kinds of different thoughts that are going to pop up in people's heads about different things if that ever came about.
Well, they you know, there's that saying that you know, the Anunnaki, who are beings not of this planet, that created man to be their slaves, to mine the gold and certain things of the earth, which what they wanted. So that's supposedly an old concept.
Yeah.
Do you see what I'm saying? So,
I mean, whether it's the Anunnaki or the reptilian agenda or whatever it is, you know, people, or Middle Earth type of stuff where there's supposed to be beings inside of the earth, and certain presidents or a president has seen them and chilled out. I mean, there's all kinds of different dimensions to what we can consider alien life forms, whether they exist here already or whether they're ready to come down to meet with us.
What role will spirituality play in a future dominated by science and technology?
I remember earlier I talked about the role of technology, the church and the government. I think, you know, spirituality will always be prevalent. It's been prevalent from not from the dawn of time, but from when man could think about the wind and the sun and think about things being powerful entities and then becoming gods. You know, this spiritual sort of existence has always been part of human existence. So I think it'll always be there. You know, whether you'll have new fractions emerging as a consequence of, you know, like how Scientology came about. You might have the Jedi Order religion. You know what I mean?
You know, there was a point I would laugh at stuff like that, but you could see people doing that stuff with a lot of the... God, how many religions are on the planet? I remember hearing somewhere that it was like 3,000. I was like, what, 3,000 religions? So
I don't even know. I don't know. That's an interesting question. I don't know how many, because you only sort of gravitate to the main ones.
Right.
Hinduism, Judaism, Christianity, Islam, etc. You know what I mean? So not much goes beyond that in regards to thinking. So it'll be interesting to see. But I think, you know, spirituality will always exist. I think there'll be different forms of spirituality based on, you know, you'll get people making up AI-ology or something, you know, there'll be spin-offs or people will be thinking differently, and their heads will be rewired differently just because of the social landscape and the technological landscape.
Yeah. How will relationships and family structures change when people can create digital partners or AI-generated children?
Well, it's already getting dodgy. You've already got people scrolling through their phone looking at something better than what's next to them. You know, how can you be sitting on the phone looking while your missus is there, that you loved her, she looked so nice when you first met her, she's still good looking, but you're on the phone while you're watching TV looking at some other women, that
don't exist.
Yeah, that don't exist, or that's, they're catfishing, that ain't the real them sort of thing, you know what I mean? And you've got these fantasies going on there, and all these other drives going on. Like, I can only imagine how mad it will get for families. You know, it's like back in the day, you'd get a couple that had been married for 35, 45, 50 years, blah, blah, blah. Is that happening as much anymore?
Not in the Western world.
I've heard about marriages that have ended, the marriages ended on the same day the wedding's gone down.
Yeah, mad.
You know, the relationships now between people, man and woman, are fragile, to say the least. And that fragility has permeated the family. So the mum and dad are fragile emotionally and all over the place. Then it affects the family. Then you break up. Then what happens, that, you know, that cycle for the young children, what are their relationships with their partners going to be like? And how much of an influence has technology had in the home, where everyone's segregated in their own rooms, not even interacting properly, not even at the dinner table together? You know, there's a lot going on nowadays.
I don't even think most people sit at a dinner table to eat food.
No, they don't. They don't. And kids are in their room doing their own thing.
On pads and shit like that. So do you think humanity is evolving mentally and emotionally, or are we regressing despite advancements?
It feels like we're advancing but regressing at the same time. You know, it's quite weird that on one hand, technologically we're advancing and we're able to learn new skills. You know, It's a skill to use a phone. You give someone a phone and they've never used, all right, give me an iPhone. I had an iPhone back in the day, but I've been on Android for a while. Give me an iPhone. It's going to take me a little while. All right, it might take an hour or two and I'll get the gist of it, but it's a skill. So using any device nowadays is a skill. There's a lot of learning that goes into, you know, technology, because there's things that people can do in 1 minute, and whether it's sorting out or analysing data, or whether it's using a phone. There's some people you come across and you might have a task to do and you don't know how to do it, and someone will be able to do it in 2 seconds and you can't do it at all. Yeah. So, but in regards to actually using your brain and thinking how to work out things, we've become lazy. Definitely. What can I do? The other day I've got upset with Citroen. I've got a Citroen car, and I've got upset with Citroen because every time the battery runs out in my key, I need to go and pay £20 at the Citroen place for them to change a battery. That would probably cost me, for a pack of 10 of those batteries, £1 or something. So you can't bust it open and change it? Right, so the other day I said I'd had enough. I'd had enough of paying that £20. And the worst thing about Citroen, they'll have you waiting there just to bust open the key and put a battery in. You wait there 2 hours. What did I do? I used technology. I went on YouTube, saw how do you open a Citroen key? Bam, open, done. So, you know, technology, whether it's changing your tyre, whether it's doing something, there's information. You could say to me, Kev, we need to talk about a certain topic I don't know about. I can go on Google straight away, have a read for 5, 10, 15 minutes and have some answers regarding any topic. Yeah. You know, so there's a lot of benefits in regards to the learning. Yeah. All right. So let me ask you this question. I'm gonna I had an idea on it. Like, if society continues on this path, what's one major crisis you believe is unavoidable? You know, when I had that question, I was thinking of, like, I don't know if you understand what I mean, but I think there's going to be a numbness that mankind has that's going to get worse. What I mean by numbness is, you know, a lot of people that don't care about their brother man or what's going on with us. We're desensitized to just not care. I think we're seeing it in young people already. Yeah. I think young people have become like that more, and it's funny that you say that, man, because they got quite a few dads, including myself. Let me shout out to my kids, man. Sorry, Che and Ashana. Hey. You don't phone or text me, guys. You know, and there's a lot of dads out there. Maybe they're broken up and they play a significant role in raising their children still, even though there's been breakup. But kids don't interact with you like how they used to, you know. But is that down to AI, or is it down to us in the sense of setting these traditions of how we do things? I think, you know, the traditions have been set within the family that I used to exist in, and me and the mum co-parent really well, and got similar values in regards to family values. But I see my kids more interested on their phone, certain. They're more interested on their phone. They're more interested in other things than picking up the phone or texting their father. And I've got a lot of different friends who've broken up and play active roles in their children's lives that moan to me about the same. We moan together. We have a moan fest. I swear there was, like, Steve Jobs, didn't he say that he refused to let his children get one of these devices? Before 16. Before 16 years of age. What was it? I swear Robbie Williams, you know, the singer. Yeah. I swear he was saying the same kind of thing, like, he don't care about if you know, his kids go to school and everybody's got a phone. He's not going to let them go on there for the same sort of things we're talking about. Yeah, and I got my kids on phones late. I started them off with some little mini phone that you couldn't even, you know, you could press all buttons with one finger. Yeah, they started off with that. This is what they've got now is actually their second phone. My son's 15, and my daughter's 12, but it's only because we've broken up and so she can communicate with me as well. So they came into the game late and they still haven't got top phones. They haven't got the latest iPhone, they haven't got the latest Samsung phone, they've got basic phones.
Yeah.
But when they're on their phone, yeah, you know, and I have to talk to them. Like last night, I said, we're watching Frankenstein. They go, you want to watch Frankenstein? They said, yes, Dad, we'll watch Frankenstein. I said, you ain't on your phones then while watching Frankenstein.
Yeah.
Put away your phones because we'll be watching the film and then at the same time they'll be on their they'll be on their film. Then I'll say to them, because I test them, oh, what happened there? Oh, I don't know, Dad.
Yeah.
But that lack of concentration, you know, they're diverted off into
the overflux of dopamine.
Into that realm.
Yeah. What is one future innovation you think could save humanity and one that could destroy us?
One that can save humanity. If they've got something, if they've devised something for more, you know, whether it's running water, whether it's, because seeds are something that are big money, yeah, because there's a lot of produce that is like animals, isn't it? There's a lot of animals dying out. They're having to farm salmon in a certain way now because you can't get freshwater salmon like before, etc. Seeds are also in a decline. So if you've got a lot of seeds to grow lettuce, tomatoes, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, now if you can, I know they got 3D printing and all that sort of stuff. Who knows where that's going to go, yeah? But if you can devise systems through AI that develop irrigation, that develop planting and agriculture, and things just worldwide to support and take people out of poverty across the globe. Like, use it for that. You know what I mean? That'd be one of the best things. I mean, obviously, you know, the feeling is that the powers that be that control things on this planet don't want that, because once you've got people in a certain position, you can control them better.
Exactly.
You know, but at the same time, if you can develop things in a way where you can generate, you know, food and have running water and whatever else, you know, can you 3D print a house? How's the technology going to be? Will it be like, and you can build a house straight away? Like, I think in the future we could have the technology to make things better for a lot more people on the planet that are suffering, you know, let alone with medical advancements and cures, etc. You know, and for things like cancer, etc. So if that can happen, yeah. I think the warring aspect for me is that's a sticky situation. You know, when it comes to new technologies and a better way to eradicate the next person from the next army, I can only imagine the sort of ideas they're coming up with in regards to weaponry or advanced soldiers, or whatever they're going to come up with.
You know, three things come to mind when you said that. Like, one, I remember a long time ago, I don't know how, you know, sometimes when I Google and I do things, I drift into some mad swings, but I remember I came across this thing where there's a place, I'm not sure if it's like near the Antarctica, or it's somewhere cold, but they have a housing facility where they house all seeds. So they've got that there. The next one was about, when you're talking about the development of like how to take people. I remember I was watching, Roseanne Barr had her own talk show. I remember she had this guy come on who was making a thing called a G-suit. And it was very crude, it was very thick and big and he couldn't really move that well, but when you was hitting him, it weren't affecting him, you was trying to burn him, all these things weren't. So you can imagine, remember I said things start crude and then they get sophisticated. You know, and we're thinking about maybe things like, you know, you got like the Iron Man type suit and all of that. How do you know those things don't exist? They're in places where we can't get to see them. And there was something else that you said. What was it? I can't remember what that was. That's kind of gone out of mind. But yeah, man, like I think these things are, when we're dealing with like just technology and advancement, these things are. When Hollywood, I notice when Hollywood shows us things, or they give us these kind of ideas for things, it's like they're in development or they're already here, and but they're just not pushing them out into the general public. That's just my sort of ideology in it all. But last question, bro.
Sorry, no, and one more thing. What's it going to mean for crime control? You know, you've seen there was an old film with Rutger Hauer, the hitchhiker, the hitcher.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
He was in a film called Wedlock. Now, the prisons were open. You just had something round your neck. But once you went to a certain distance, that would blow your head off.
Right.
Yeah? So what's going to happen with people's privacy, for one, in the future? Are you going to have blocks of flats where there's one controller looking into every flat and seeing what's going on in your flat in regards to mad things going on, and you potentially could get caught for a crime in your own house? Or they're going to have that, they're going to have open prisons where you've got something on your neck that will blow your head off. You know, what does it mean for crime control later on?
I think those things are like semi on the fence for that though. You know, I think London is the most viewed place through camera lens on the planet. Apparently you get seen 360 odd times every time you leave your house because of so many cameras that are there, and it's most people even doubled because everybody has a phone with a camera. These devices listen to you. You know, me and you can be speaking about Dominican Republic or something like that, and later on we're doom scrolling or whatever we're doing, we're seeing a whole heap of things about Dominican Republic.
Or even on Amazon, even on your TV, something will come up. I'm like, what? How come that come up on my TV?
Right. So I think we're already there. I just think it's concealed and veiled in a way where it's just palatable for us. You know, the over the emphasis like on Hollywood and stuff make it be like and you see like but like, you know, it's just palatable for us to just deal with it. So
yeah, because we're being tracked. We're being tracked at every given moment. I mean, it's funny that you get those trackers that you can buy that you can keep on your kids now. Yeah. But it makes it normal, innit? Yeah. That idea of tracking. All right, it's calm. I track my children. I've got the app on my phone to track whoever.
That's right.
You know what I mean? On Snapchat, people know where other people are, where their friends are.
Yeah. So what message would you give to future generations about maintaining their humanity in a rapidly changing world?
You know, it sounds corny, but still have love in your heart, empathy, kindness and caring. Those four things. As long as you still have that, yeah, you can't get, you know, you can't be contained by a level of technological sort of thinking or a detachment from human emotion, you know. Whatever, and hopefully your families are still teaching you that. Because there's families that, you know, it's quite weird that at a certain level, say you go to middle to upper class, across the board, across all nations, you become more detached from your children as you work, and you know, you might be in high powered positions, you have childminders for your kids, they're on devices, they're living the best life, but they're not living a life with their parents. Not so much like people on ground level that are with their kids every day. Yeah. You know, all right, they've got their kids on devices, but they've got to pick them up from school, do this, do that, blah, 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 sit down, make them dinner, etc. I think for middle to upper class families, it's harder to keep that together because they're so busy that they have people looking after their children. Yeah. You know, so just instill that love, kindness, caring and empathy into your children, and hopefully they'll move forward with that regardless of what the environment brings.
I would say to learn to, the same way you tap in, what I mean by tap in, if you pick up these devices, your phones, and you're always in these realms, always on these social medias, you need, the same way you tap in, you need to learn to tap out and find balance. Like you need to go out there, do camping, or learn how to, you know, build fires without no aid of like a match or a lighter, and do stuff that you know, without these technological devices, how would you survive? Because the irony is, yeah, I'll say this before we quickly say this before we wrap it up. Like, I remember I was laughed at for having a grab bag. I used to have a grab bag. Grab bag is like, you know, let's say like if all the power grid goes off and then something happens and you've got to leave your home, I've got like a wind up torch and just certain little things in this bag. And I remember like one of my friends was like, oh, you're mad, you get me? What are you doing with a grab bag? The irony is that recently in his area there was the power grid went off. And it went off like a few times, and he was lost. He couldn't maneuver without the phone. What do I do when the phone come back on? Oh God, you never know what happened. Oh, and then it goes back off, and then he was all distraught. And I saying, bro, like, you can't. You got to realize that these things don't actually exist. What I mean by exist, it's a portal. You're going on there, you're doing your stuff now, but when that locks off now, you got to deal with reality. You got to deal with real issues. So that's what I mean by having the balance. I just think that we can tap into these things, use them, and have a good time with them, but we need to be trying to deal with reality. You know what I'm saying? So that's another episode of Real Talk with Kevin. And I think
that was pretty nice.
I think it was dope, and I was about to say to you, I think we should at some point venture back into the past, the present, and the future, and where we're going. And I think it'll be nice to get a bit more of the audience watching some of their points of view.
Yeah, of course.
But yeah, man, look after each other and all of that, and stay positive. Until the next time, peace.
Yo, what's outside is within. The mind regulates the hand that masters the pen. The pen is mightier than the sword, but the tongue is mightier still. The stargate to the mind's revealed. The vortex.